What's good, Commanders fans? Once again, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving and a good holiday weekend for sure, man. This was a good bounce back win, guys, and it's a good win, but a frustrating win at the same time because this is what we should have did last week against Dallas. We should have put Bell to A against Dallas and did this, and starting off hot like we did this week, running the football, getting the ball to B-Rob. B-Rob with that huge run where he didn't get tailed down or caught from behind. He ran it in and finished the touchdown. So that was awesome to see. Cliff had a huge bounce back game, man, because people were calling out Cliff a lot for the Cliff falling off a cliff, the whole cliche or whatever the saying of his seasons falling off. None of that today. And Jayden Daniels going and he was already number one in my eyes for rookie of the year anyway, but this definitely helped him solidify it and boost his number one status for rookie of the year at the moment for sure. Having going 25 for 30, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Had a solid day on the ground too. Not a lot of yards on the ground, but he made a couple good plays with his legs for sure. The rushing touchdown, starting off 28-0, man. That's how you do it. Now the Titans, they were almost as bad as the Cowboys are shooting themselves in the foot. They actually were just as bad. It just wasn't a bunch of like blocked field goals and blocked punts. They fumbled the football, Tony Pollard, but Mikey Sanders still made a big play. That was a big play that we made, forcing a fumble. Jeremy Chin dropped the interception that he should have got. And Frankie Louvu was a dog. He set the tone, man. He really set the tone out there. A couple batted passes, big tackles on Will Levis, making big plays, frustrating Will Levis, pressuring him, getting big pressure on him, making him step up in the pocket and make bad decisions. Frankie Louvu made some big plays, man. A ball is life. The fumble recovery on the special teams that we made. The Tony Pollard fumble, like I brought up earlier. We made some big plays to put us in. We capitalized on the field position. That's what we didn't do last week. We capitalized on the field position that we created ourselves, that our defense helped us get. And we sustained drives and we made drives. Even without good field position, we sustained drives and made drives. Chris Rodriguez, man, shout out to him for just staying the course. For a guy to be released, cut and released, and over and over again, put down on the practice squad, elevated, put down back on the practice squad, elevated to the active roster again and again and again, and then released and inactive, I feel like a game or two. And then he gets his number called after Eckler is on IR. Hopeful for a speedy recovery for Austin Eckler. B-Rob getting injured last week. He gets the call because we really, really need him. And he answers the call, man. And he was a Ron Rivera draft pick. Eric Bieniemy wanted him, but who cares about Ron Rivera and just one of the worst decision makers in the history of football. I hate to bring this up, but Emmanuel Forbes got released. If you guys didn't know, Ron Rivera draft pick, Jamin Davis released, Jahan Dotson traded. But Chris Rodriguez, man, 13 carries for 94 yards. I wanted him to get to 100. B-Rob got 103 yards. And the great thing about Chris Rodriguez playing well is that you got to rest B-Rob. Now B-Rob gets to rest for the whole fourth quarter, and he gets this week off, the whole bye week. Hopefully Marshawn Lattimore can play against the Saints next week. And that just helps us out when we have a three-headed monster with Jeremy McNichols. Jeremy McNichols had a couple good carries too. I like the way that he ran the football too. Cliff, he even called a flea flicker in the first half, called a reverse with De'Ami Brown. I love the play action on the 4th and 2 to Luke McCaffrey, or the rollout with Jayden. And then on 3rd and 2, we had a nice RPO rollout with Jayden, and he threw the ball to Terry McLaurin. The crowd got hyped. Terry was a dog today with 2 touchdowns. He made some big plays. And Cliff actually had Terry line up on the right side of the field. And the first pass of the game, guess what? Went to who? Terry McLaurin. You see what happens when you get the football to your best player, your best playmaker on offense early and often. You see what happens. Not just the run game humming, but you get your best receiver the football in great situations, in space to make a play. 8 catches for 73 yards, 2 touchdowns. They try to review the 1 touchdown. I was like, why are y'all reviewing this? This is a touchdown. No need to waste time. This is a touchdown. So 28-0, I am a little disappointed. I wanted to see 50. I wanted to see a 50 burger, but we put up a 40 burger. This is the Commanders team that we saw earlier in the season. When we were taking care of business, beating up on the Cardinals, beating up on the Browns, beating up on inferior teams that we should have beat or that we should beat. This is the Commanders team that we saw from earlier in the season taking care of business. And this is why I didn't panic, guys. I was like, this is still a playoff team in my opinion. I know there's peaks and valleys, guys, especially with a rookie quarterback. You have to understand we were 7-2 at one point. Not every game is going to be a win. There's going to be ups and downs. You're going to take a punch, but you got to respond. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Shout out to Mike Tyson. I know the fight was awful, but shout out to Mike Tyson, that saying. And we have a plan. We're bouncing back. There's going to be ups and downs in this season, in this movie, in this chapter of the season, guys. So all the people who were checking out because we lost 3 games in a row, we lost to the Cowboys, you got to stay the course. And I said this on the Commanders King stream last week. We lost to Matt Castle. I know I'm going off track. We lost to Matt Castle a couple years ago. We still made the playoffs that year. I think that's a similar loss and a kind of a similar trajectory. I feel like if we win 2 more games, we get in. I think 10 wins is enough to make the playoffs. I know we're talking about playoffs, but we are a playoff team, and I still believe we're going to make the playoffs. I really do. I think all we need to do is win 2 more, and we get in. But let's just focus on this game. Noah Brown left the game. He did not come back in, so we'll see what happens. He does have a bye week to recover. Zach Ertz did catch a touchdown pass, so that was good. Jayden threw the ball a little too high for Zach Ertz, and that ended up being an interception. Holding Tony Pollard to 35 yards is not what I expected today. That's a big reason why we won this game. If you want to look and pinpoint to one reason why we won the game, other than us running the football well, getting the ball to Terry, Jayden having a good game, using his legs, stopping Tony Pollard. Not only did we slow him down, but we stopped him. 35 yards on the ground when he literally just had 100 yards on the ground against a good Texans team last week. And this team had confidence going to this game. Jeffrey Simmons, who? Harold Landry, who? We ran all over those guys. Tony Pollard got stopped. He had more fumbles than touchdowns. Ty Spears, 1 carry for 3 yards, didn't do a darn thing. Westbrook-Ikhine did get off a little bit, but we didn't give up like too many crazy plays to Westbrook-Ikhine. He had the 27-yard catch. Calvin really two catches for 45 yards, so we kept him in check for the most part. Tyler Boyd, 3 catches for 37 yards, kept him in check for the most part. Chiggy, their tight end, had 1 big catch for 14 yards. We kind of got away with a holding penalty or pass interference on Jeremy Chin, but it was kind of ticky-tack if they really wanted to call it in the end zone, and we got away with that just a little bit. But no, shout out to the defense. This was complimentary football here, man. This was complimentary football. Holding Tony Pollard to 8 carries for 35 yards was a huge reason why we won this game. You look at time of possession. We won the time of possession. I think we won time of possession. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we won 40-13, basically the score. We won 42-19, then we won time of possession 40 minutes to 19 minutes. Typically, when we win the time of possession, we win the football game. We won the turnover battle 2-1. Will Levis, something like he really loves mayo or whatever, so that's a good reason why we beat him too, because he's a mayo guy. We were 9 for 14 on third downs, 1 for 1 on fourth down. They were 5 for 12 on third downs, and that's just winning football. When you look at the numbers and the stats like that, that's when you win football games. 267 yards on the ground to giving up 35. I mean, that's a huge reason why we won the game right there too. Penalties, we had 7, they had 12. They hurt themselves. They shot themselves in the foot a lot. They had a botch snap to Will Levis as well and held them to a field goal. The kicking situation is a concern with Zane Gonzalez. There's just not many guys out there. So, I mean, if they want to bring in competition over the bye week, hey, I have no problem with that if they want to do that, because he missed a 51-yarder, and then I feel like he missed a 41 or a 42-yarder. He's got to be better with the kicks, man. He's got to be better with the kicks for sure. So I'm going to look at my notes, and then I'm going to get up out of here, guys. I probably will make a video about the Bears having interest in Cliff Kingsbury, and then I'll make a couple videos throughout the week for the bye week. I will be out of town, so a lot of videos I make will probably will be in a hotel this next week. So I will be out of town. I'll be out in Illinois this upcoming week. So let's look at the notes here. So Frankie Louvu set the tone. I talked about that. Terry catch on the first drive. I talked about that. B-Rob with the 40-yard touchdown run. That was huge. Frankie Louvu with a big pass deflection. B-Rob with big runs. Jayden with big runs. McNichols had a nice run to the outside. Jayden touchdown run. We up 14-0. Mikey Sanders still forces a fumble. Then I think we go up 21-0. Terry McLaurin with a touchdown. There was a roughing the passer penalty on the Titans that we took. Hit Terry McLaurin on the touchdown for the slant. So I think that was 28-0. Jayden had another nice run. The Titans had a 12-minute on the field penalty. Then Sam Cosmi had a false start. Jayden Daniels was very, very upset after that. He was very upset when that false start happened. Zane Gonzalez misses the kick after the false start. Westbrook-Ikhine had hands like a snake. He had dropped 2 passes in a row. Tony Pollard dropped a pass. The Titans had a couple drop passes, man. They were shooting themselves in the foot all game, but we took advantage of it anyway. Jeremy Chin got away with a pass interference. Talked about that. Jayden threw an interception, and there was too high over to Zach Ertz, where it went off of Zach Ertz's hands, and it got intercepted. Tony Pollard had a big catch over the middle. Dante Fowler had a sack on Will Levis. He has 9 sacks on the year. He's like top 5 in sacks. He's having a Pro Bowl season for sure. Love that from him. B-Rob with a nice run into the red zone. Zach Ertz, nice catch over the middle and actually ran a little bit. He actually had a little bit of yak. No yak Zach had a little bit of yak on one catch today. It was like 2 yards of yak, but I'll take it. Calvin Ridley was open on the third down, but they just weren't able to connect. But he was wide open on that third down. It is what it is, though. Chris Rodriguez had 2 nice runs. Jayden Daniels did fumble on one play. It was like a little shovel pass he was trying to do, and they ruled it a fumble. So he just has to be careful with that. He did make a guy miss on the spin move on that play. Zane Gonzalez misses another kick. Jeremy Chin got the pass interference, and Chiggy caught the football on that one. Chris Rodriguez, big run up the middle, and Luke McCaffrey had a nice catch on 4th down for the conversion. So that was nice to get Luke McCaffrey involved, who's been getting open and getting a lot of separation this whole season. So that was good that Luke got rewarded. And we won in the all-black jerseys, guys. We won in the all-black. Marcus Mariota, that's the only thing. I thought they should have put him in at the end. There was no point of putting Jayden Daniels in on that last drive. They should have put Marcus Mariota in the ball game. He was a captain, and this was his former team. So if you're going to name him a captain, why not put him in the ball game? That was just my thoughts on it. It doesn't really matter, but they should have put him in the game. There was no reason to put Jayden back in there. They should have let Marcus Mariota do the knee and do the kneel down to let the clock run out. So you look at the rest of the schedule, guys. The Saints, the Falcons just lost today. Kirk did not look good. He threw a pick 6. You got the Eagles again, who are playing the Ravens. This is going to be a good game. And the Cardinals lost. So I mean, we'll probably look at the playoff picture tomorrow. I'm gonna try my best because I'm gonna be on a flight tomorrow, so it's gonna be tough. But the Cardinals lost. The Seahawks won. So we control our own destiny. So there's really no point, in my opinion, looking at other teams. We just gotta win, guys. I feel like if we win 2 more games, that's all we need. We should win 3 more games this year. I feel like we should beat the Saints. We should beat the Falcons. We should beat the Cowboys. That's 3. And then you got the Eagles. So that's going to be a tough one. But I feel like no less than 3 wins. But 2 will get you in. I feel like 10 wins gets you. Win 10 and you get in. That's the saying for me right now. Win 10 and you get in. But all right, you guys, as always, enjoy the W. Enjoy the bye week. Have fun next Sunday doing whatever you feel like doing with the time that you got. Let's see the Eagles and Ravens beat up on each other. Hopefully the Ravens win that game and beat the Eagles. So we can have a puncher's chance to possibly win the NFC East if we do win out, if that's even possible. But once again, like I said, guys, no need to panic like last week. And, we're getting right back on track. It's baby steps getting back on track. Step by step, game by game. Against a tough defense. The Tennessee Titans have a good defense, man. Jeffrey Simmons, they got some good guys on their defense. We took care of business today against a team that has a bad record but has talent. They have talent for sure. And Will Levis, they were hot. Will Levis was hot coming into this game against the Texans. He had a good game. He had a good game before that, too. Tony Pollard was coming in hot, too. Calvin Ridley and Westbrook Akina as well. So I got to give a big shout out to Joe Witt Jr. and Cliff Kingsbury to do on the offense. The coaches did a good job. Dan Quinn did a good job. I have no gripes with the coaching decisions today. Also, a historical stat, Jayden Daniels is the 3rd rookie in NFL history with multiple touchdown passes and a running touchdown in consecutive games. He joins Kent Nix in 1967 and Charlie Connerly twice in 1948. This guy is just setting records game after game after game after game. So he's rookie of the year for sure. All right, you guys, have a good weekend. Hail Commanders. Peace. Left hand up.